Alright, so I've got my replacement O-rings. These are actually Viton. They're a little bit more chemical resistant than the standard rubber. And then I've got two of my 4-pack of picks from Harbor Freight. I'll link those down in the video description so that way you guys can find those. They're very inexpensive. And then I've got my female quick connect, which will be demonstrating how to replace this O-ring. So first and foremost, just one thing to note, you actually will not have access to this backside. So this will be connected to a chemical injector or your outlet of your pressure washer or a hose, whatever it may be. So you don't really need to take this off in order to change it. So we're going to demonstrate for the sake of this video just how to change it from the front. So because I've done this a few times, I'm going to start with this straight pick, and I might struggle a little bit since I'm trying to do this while filming. But what I'm actually going to try to do is try to get that O-ring out of that groove. So it's seated in a little groove within the female coupler. And as soon as I can get that kind of pushed out of the groove, then I'm going to be able to roll that enough to where I can grab it with this hook on this pick. So that's kind of my strategy here, and let's go ahead and give that a shot. Like I said, it might take me a little extra time since I'm trying to do this without actually looking at it. So you can see I've got that pushed up, and you may ruin your O-ring in the process, but chances are if you're replacing it, it's already shot anyways. So now I'm just going to hook behind. And pop it right out. So if your O-ring's in multiple pieces, you might end up kind of chunking this O-ring up as you're taking it out. But again, not a big deal since it's going to be the old O-ring. Now that we've got our O-ring out, let's go ahead and grab a replacement from the pack of O-rings sitting on the table. So just looking at these, you can actually kind of see that this rubber is a little bit more dried out, even from the factory. And keep in mind both these are completely unused, so we tend to get a lot better life out of the Viton material. Just something to factor in if you're considering buying a pack of these. Always go for the Viton. It'll cost you a few more dollars in the short term, but it'll keep your machines running longer. So alright, the strategy here is I'm going to kind of push this, I'm going to squish it, push it in as deep as I can, and then I'm going to have to use either this pick or a combination of the two to kind of get it seated. My goal here is to not use the sharp point of the pick, but to rather use this flat surface here to actually push it down into the channel. So I want to avoid the point because I don't want to tear this O-ring. If you tear it, you're just going to have to try again, which thankfully these are cheap. So let's give that a shot. So I'm just going to push it in with my hand as far as possible and then try to kind of spin it. Again, this is a little bit more difficult since I'm trying to do it on camera. So you can see I pushed it too far on one side. I'm just going to pull it back. Again, trying not to hook it. And now I'm going to push it with the flat. Push it with the flat. And there we go. You can see that is fully seated in the channel. And now you'll get a solid connection between your male and female couplers. Just for demonstration's sake, I went ahead and grabbed a male coupler. So I can go ahead and click that into place. You can see it snaps together tightly. There's no wiggle or very little wiggle. And that's just the little bit of wiggle from the compression of that Viton seal or O-ring. So you can see that's much better than what we started with. Just for comparison's sake, I went ahead and removed the O-ring so you can see there's no O-ring down on that groove. This is to simulate a blown out O-ring or severely damaged O-ring. You can see just how much slop there is in this connection now, and that's what's really going to allow the water to leak around that seal. And that's the symptom that you'll most likely see when you're out pressure washing. So I hope this video was a quick demo and taught you guys how to properly replace the O-ring. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I can. But thanks for watching, and consider subscribing.